All right, I want to start off by saying all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. It is just going to be a response to a brother by the name of the Loving Christian. Now, what you see in front of you here is a still image I took from a video on YouTube of basically this Israelite man on the left um, with this Edomite looking woman on the right. They came together and are married, and they created the two children you see on the left and the right. Now, the point that I'm bringing this up for is because Loving Christian supposedly refuted the confusion of faith teaching from the Great Millstone. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to get into this. And I want to start off by saying that I watched his video, and what he was basically saying was confusion of face is talking about shame face. Which, let me say this, that could be a interpretation of confusion of face. I agree with some places in the scriptures where it uses confusion of face. It could mean a shame state of being, okay? I agree with that. As he's shown in the scriptures, and that is what's what I'm looking for. That can be a breakdown of the scriptures. All right, on that particular topic. So I agree that in certain circumstances, that confusion of face can mean just shamefaced. I do agree with that teaching. However, there is a second breakdown. Okay, you're going to have people who look like these two children here that look like heathens, but they actually go back to the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, because the lineage goes on the father side of the family. But as you see here, this Israelite man slept with this Edomite woman, and it created children that look like Edomites. Okay, but guess what though? Even though they look like, outwardly, they look like heathens, they are still Israelites inwardly. Okay? They are still Israelites even though they look like the heathen. Okay, you have to understand this, and we're going to show in the scriptures evidence to support this statement. Okay, now I want to actually start off here. Just go to the book of Genesis real quick. And it's funny because you got a false doctrine going around out there with this, about the fallen angels. Well, for one, don't angels don't reproduce. Okay, so how the hell could this be talking about angels here? That's a question to you so-called Christians. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's go here. Genesis chapter 6 and 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of man, and they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Now, what is this talking about? Who are the sons of God? The sons of God are the Israelites. Okay, and the daughters of men are the daughters of the other heathen nations. Okay, it's very simple to understand. When you deal with the scriptures, you have three classifications of men. You have the sons of God, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked. And I believe that's in Revelation, the 9th chapter. But anyway, that clearly gets us into what we're speaking about here. You see, the sons of God, the Israelites, saw the daughters of man, the daughters of the other heathen nations, and they laid with them. And they created children with these women. So as you see here, this would be a good example. Okay, you have this man who is an Israelite, so-called Negro, who slept with a woman who is most likely an Edomite. Now, she could be an Israelite because maybe she had a father from the tribe of Israel, one of the 12 tribes. All right, so that would make her an Israelite. Okay, but we can only speculate about that. But the lineage goes on the father's side of the family, and we're going to show that in just a little bit here. Actually, you know what? Let's even go ahead and get that scripture real quick. Let's see. Okay. Just to prove my point, the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and 18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and upwards by their polls. Right, now it doesn't say by their mother's side of the family, it says by their father's side. Why is that? Because lineage goes on the father's side of the family. And it's just a fact. Okay, so once again, getting back to what we're talking about here, about confusion of faith Israelites. Well, as we see right here, and let me say this, I'm going to leave a link in the description box of this video to the actual video where I took the still image from. Okay? And you go ahead and watch it for yourself, and you'll clearly see that what I'm saying matches up with the scriptures. Okay? You're going to have certain Israelite men who lay with women of the heathen nations, who will bring offspring that look like other nations. But through their spirit, they still go back to the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, therefore still making them Israelites, even though outwardly they look like the heathens. Okay, so you're going to have people who are white-skinned who are going to be saved. And then, of course, in his video, he went on mockery. But some of them could be Edomites in their camp. And I agree with that. In fact, I believe that there are some Edomites in Great Millstone. Okay, and that's just my personal opinion. But statistically speaking, there probably is. Okay? And then he went off on something, oh, well, every time you see a white man, you curse him out. Now, me, you never see me really going out there, cursing out everybody that walks by me. We handle it peacefully, and that's how we're supposed to handle it. Because you can't just tell someone, oh, well, because you're this skin color, that means that you can't receive salvation. Okay, now it is true that the so-called Caucasians are the Edomites of the Bible. However, you're going to have certain people who look like a Caucasian who are going to be saved, because on the father's side of the family, through the generations, they go back to having a father from one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay, so this isn't based on skin color, man. This isn't a white versus black thing. Okay, you're going to have people who are white who are going to be saved. Okay, it's just a fact. All right. Let's see. Pretty much I got the main point out of the way, but I'm just going to bring on some more skip cheese. Let's see. Okay. Daniel 12 and 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Right, so if you got people out there, especially in GMS, who are out there actually teaching the scriptures correctly. So if they can understand what the scripture says, it doesn't matter what their skin color looks like, man. Okay, you can't just tell them, oh, well, you're this skin color, so that means that you're an Edomite. There's no possible chance that you couldn't be an Israelite. That's going off. That's not in the scriptures. All right, that's falsehood right there. I want to show this as well. Let's see. First Samuel, chapter. Find it real quick. Chapter 16 and verse 7. Alright, it says, But the Lord Yahweh said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord sees not as a man sees, for the Lord looks on the inward appearance. Or Slakia, let me rephrase myself. For man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. Right, so it's very simple. Okay, very simple indeed. And I'd say I totally dismantled that teaching that there's no such thing as supposed confusion of faith Israelites. Because as I said, I agree with his statement that there are certain points in the scriptures where confusion of faith can just mean shamefaced as he's shown in the scriptures. So I agree with that statement. However, there are still confusion of face Israelites who look like the other heathen nations, but are Israelites, as proven in the scriptures. Okay, now whether you want to call them confusion of face or just Israelites that look like other nations, that's up for you to decide. Okay, it doesn't matter what you call them, it is what it is. Okay, as Larkin Rose would say, it doesn't matter what you call it, it is what it is. Anyway, that was just a little response to the vigilant, not the vigilant Christian, the loving Christian. So, with that being said, I'm going to say shalom. Once again, there will be a link in the description box to this video where you can go ahead and watch it for yourself. But with that being said, I'm going to say shalom.